The skies over North America are alive and deadly. Every shadow overhead could be a silent hunter, every flap of wings a warning. Welcome to Preda Planet, where we expose nature's most lethal designs and reveal just how fragile life becomes when you step into a predator's world. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because every week we uncover another corner of Earth's most dangerous creatures. The predators don't take days off, and neither do we. Dash number 10, the Canada goose. The feathered fury, the Canada goose, a bird that proves not all danger comes with fangs. Sure, it looks innocent gliding over a lake, until nesting season. That's when this oversized feathered tank transforms into a territorial nightmare. With a 6-foot wingspan and an ego to match, the goose will charge anything that breathes too close. Joggers, kids, even full-grown adults on bikes. Its hiss sounds like a broken steam pipe, and its wings can deliver bone-bruising blows. And while it's funny, at least until you're the one getting chased, these birds have literally brought down planes. In 2009, a flock of geese crippled both engines of US Airways Flight 1549, forcing a crash landing in the Hudson River. These aren't farmyard birds. They're flying bouncers, guarding ponds like VIP lounges. So, the next time one lowers its head and starts walking toward you, don't test your luck. That's a fight you won't win. Dash number 9, the great horned owl, the silent executioner. As daylight fades, the real killer takes the sky. The great horned owl, known as the tiger of the sky, is the ultimate night hunter. With talons that clamp down at 300 pounds per square inch, this bird can crush the spine of a skunk or a rabbit like dry twigs. Its flight? Dead silent. Serrated feathers on the edge of each wing cut through air with zero sound. By the time its shadow crosses you, it's already too late. But what makes this owl truly terrifying is its intelligence. It doesn't just hunt, it studies. It learns the habits of its prey, returns to the same branch every night, and strikes when it senses routine. There are reports of joggers being ambushed, scratched, and bloodied by owls protecting their nests in Oregon and Washington. They don't warn you. They don't miss. It's patience and precision wrapped in feathers. A lesson in why the forest gets eerily quiet before something dies. Number 8, the seagull. They're loud, bold, and always where they shouldn't be. But behind the chaos is a ruthless survivor. Seagulls are opportunistic predators, not just scavengers. They've been filmed swallowing baby birds whole, snatching fish mid-air, and dropping hard-shelled prey like clams and crabs from the sky to smash them open on rocks. That's problem solving. That's intelligence. Their danger to humans? Aggression and disease. Each year, people get dive bombed by seagulls defending territory or food, especially along the coasts of California, Florida, and Nova Scotia. And because they feast on garbage and landfill waste, they're carriers of E. coli, salmonella, and other pathogens. The real kicker? They're one of the top causes of aircraft bird strikes in North America. Thousands of reported cases each year. Millions in damage. One distracted pilot, one unlucky engine, and these birds can turn a flight into a disaster. Still, they thrive. Urban sprawl, pollution, overfishing. They adapt to it all. The seagull isn't just surviving, it's winning. So next time one eyes your fries, think twice before waving it off. That bird's got the streets and the skies figured out better than most of us. From suburban parks to midnight forests and coastlines littered with chaos, North America's flying predators come in all forms, from the ones we mock to the ones we never even hear coming. And as we climb higher up the list, the skies only grow more dangerous. This is Preda Planet, where survival isn't guaranteed, even above the clouds. Dash number 7, dash the osprey, dash the fish sniper. To the untrained eye, the osprey looks graceful, dash hovering over the surf like a kite in slow motion. But that stillness hides a mind built for precision murder. This raptor hunts exclusively for fish, and it does it with sniper-level accuracy. From 200 feet in the air, an osprey can spot a trout shimmering beneath the surface, adjust for wind, and dive at 80 miles per hour. Just before impact, it flips its talons forward, extending barbed pads that pierce slippery scales like harpoons. Those talons don't just grab, they lock. Once the osprey has you, you're not getting free. The bird hits the water, beats its 6-foot wingspan, and rises back into the air, carrying a meal almost equal to its own body weight. Fishermen across the Carolinas and the Gulf have watched helplessly as ospreys steal their catches right off the line. Pilots in coastal regions log thousands of flight delays every year because of these sea hawks nesting near runways. But it's hard to blame them. The ocean is their hunting ground, and the sky is just their highway. Evolution gave them radar-grade eyesight, waterproof feathers, and the reflexes of a fighter pilot. When an osprey folds its wings and commits to a dive, there's only one possible outcome: impact, and silence. The bald eagle, the sky's apex icon. Every American knows the bald eagle, symbol of freedom, courage, and terrifying precision. Behind the majesty of the flag, however, hides a ruthless predator. With eyesight 8 times sharper than a human's, it can spot a rabbit 2 miles away. Its talons exert more than 400 pounds of pressure, stronger than a pit bull's bite, and unlike most raptors, bald eagles steal almost as often as they hunt. They're notorious bullies. They rob ospreys mid-air, snatching fish right out of their claws. They dive bomb waterfowl until exhaustion sets in, then scoop up the bodies. They've even attacked drones and small aircraft invading their airspace. At the peak of nesting season, hikers in Alaska and the Pacific Northwest have ended up in hospitals after swooping assaults. Each year, park rangers post signs warning visitors to respect the nest perimeter. Because when a bald eagle decides you're a threat, there's no negotiation, just claws and gravity. But that aggression is what saved the species. Once nearly extinct, bald eagles fought their way back from under 500 breeding pairs in the 1970s to over 300,000 today. Turns out survival favors the bold. And speaking of survival, in the modern world, being prepared isn't just for animals. Sponsored moment. SmartCredit X Preda Planet. Even predators have to keep an eye on what matters most, their future. But unlike hawks or eagles, you can't sense danger by instinct. You need SmartCredit. SmartCredit lets you track, protect, and grow your financial profile the same way these hunters track their prey, with precision. You'll see your credit scores, accounts, and potential threats in one dashboard. So before you take that next leap, for a car, a home, or your business, make sure your credit health can handle the flight. Use our exclusive link in the description to get started today, because in the wild, and in life, awareness is survival. The golden eagle. High above the Rockies, there's a silhouette that commands respect from everything that crawls, climbs, or flies. The golden eagle is North America's heavyweight aerial predator, larger, stronger, and even more aggressive than its bald cousin. It's the stuff of legend. Golden eagles have been filmed taking down full-grown deer, mountain goats, and even wolves. They don't just strike, they strategize, using cliff faces and downdrafts to throw prey off balance before moving in for the kill. When you watch one in slow motion, every movement screams engineering perfection. Wings angled like blades, tail feathers flexing like rudders, eyes locked on target. Then, in a flash, impact. A 200-pound mammal collapses and the eagle spreads its wings over the carcass like a crown claiming its throne. For centuries, native tribes regarded the golden eagle as sacred, a bridge between the mortal world and the divine. Even today, biologists tread carefully when tagging them, not just because of their power, but because of their intelligence. They remember faces, vehicles, even flight patterns. And yet, despite their dominance, they face a new enemy: wind turbines and habitat loss. Each year, hundreds are struck down by the very skies they mastered. It's poetic and tragic. The king dying in his own kingdom, but that's the story of every apex predator. Rule long enough and something always challenges the throne. From the oceans to the peaks, the balance of power shifts every moment, and the air itself becomes the battlefield. We've seen the opportunists, the bullies, and the kings, but the deadliest still wait above the clouds. You're watching Preda Planet, where every flight could be your last. In the wild, survival comes down to awareness, knowing what's around you and what's coming next. But out here in the modern jungle, it's not claws and fangs that take you down. It's bad credit, identity theft, and financial blind spots. That's why this episode is brought to you by SmartCredit, the all-in-one platform designed to help you track, protect, and master your financial ecosystem. Just like a predator senses movement in the shadows, SmartCredit alerts you to every change in your credit instantly. Every score update, every inquiry, every hidden threat. You can see your full 3-bureau report, dispute errors directly, and even monitor for identity theft, all from one dashboard. And here's the best part. SmartCredit doesn't just show you your score, it shows you why it's moving. It breaks down every factor that affects your credit: payment history, utilization, inquiries, so you can take control like the apex hunter of your finances. If you've been watching Preda Planet, you already understand knowledge is survival. Don't wait to become prey to bad credit or fraud. Tap the link in the description to start your 7-day trial today, because in the financial jungle, awareness is the ultimate weapon. Once again, that's smartcredit.com/PID41039. Stay informed, stay protected, and stay predatory. Number 4. The peregrine falcon, the speed assassin. If you've ever wondered what it feels like to be hit by a bullet, ask a pigeon. The peregrine falcon doesn't just hunt, it annihilates. Capable of diving at over 240 miles per hour, it holds the title of fastest animal on Earth. When it spots prey, it climbs high into the stratosphere, folds its wings, and turns itself into a living missile. The impact alone is often enough to kill the target before its talons even close. This bird isn't chasing. You're simply not fast enough to react. For years, scientists studied the falcon's aerodynamic design to improve fighter jet engineering. Even NASA examined the microstructure of its feathers. Every inch of this bird's body is built for dominance. Razor-sharp beak, ultra-light bones, and eyes that process vision 8 times faster than ours. But what makes the peregrine falcon terrifying isn't just its speed, it's its success rate. Nearly every dive ends with a kill. They don't waste energy, they don't miss, and they rarely get injured doing it. Urban expansion didn't slow them down either. Peregrines now rule skylines across North America, nesting on skyscrapers, bridges, and radio towers. In cities like Chicago and New York, they've swapped cliffs for concrete and pigeons for plentiful prey. Imagine walking downtown while 20 stories above, a bird locks onto a target, dives through traffic, and disappears behind a glass tower with its lunch. You wouldn't even know it happened. And that's the point. The most efficient killers are the ones you never see. The red-tailed hawk might not have the falcon's speed, but it has something even more dangerous: control. Every flap of its wings is calculated, every turn deliberate. These birds are patient, strategic assassins of the open sky. You've seen them without realizing it, perched along highways, waiting on telephone poles. That's no coincidence. Highways cut through fields full of rodents, snakes, and rabbits. A buffet line of opportunity. Once it sees movement, the hawk drops like a hammer. It doesn't need to chase. One decisive strike, and the world goes quiet again. Their talons are thick and curved, designed to puncture vital organs instantly. They can lift prey almost their own body weight and fly off before anyone even realizes what happened. In rural Texas, there are stories of hawks swooping down on farm cats and vanishing into the horizon in seconds. Their adaptability is unmatched. From Alaskan tundra to Mexican deserts, the red-tailed hawk adjusts to any landscape, any season. They don't migrate, they command. And here's something most people don't know. They're extremely territorial. They've attacked drones, hikers, and even photographers getting too close to their nests. One researcher in Arizona described the hit as being punched by nature itself. The red-tailed hawk's scream, the one used in movies for every eagle cry you've ever heard, belongs to them. That's how iconic their voice is. They're not just part of the ecosystem, they're the soundtrack of it. And when you hear that sound echoing over a canyon, know this: somewhere up there, something's dying. The Africanized honeybee, the swarm. It's small, it's common, and it's responsible for more human deaths in North America than any other flying predator. Meet the Africanized honeybee, more famously known as the killer bee. Now, technically, bees aren't hunters. They don't eat what they kill, but when it comes to pure lethality, they deserve their place on this list. Imported to Brazil in the 1950s to improve honey production, these bees escaped into the wild and migrated north through Mexico, reaching the United States by the 1980s. What makes them dangerous isn't their sting, it's their temperament. Regular honeybees might sting if provoked. Africanized bees, they attack in swarms of thousands. They'll chase a target for up to half a mile, stinging relentlessly until it collapses. Farmers in Texas, Arizona, and California have lost livestock, entire herds, because of them. Dogs, horses, even humans have been overwhelmed in minutes. The venom isn't stronger than that of other bees, but the sheer number of stings turns each attack into a biological weapon. Firefighters and wildlife officers have developed special protocols just for them: foam suppression, heavy gear, and coordinated retreat. And once they decide you're a threat, there's nothing you can do to reason with nature. They've invaded homes, engine compartments, even mailboxes, and the worst part? They look identical to regular bees. There's no way to tell until it's too late. It's the perfect metaphor for modern danger. Small, silent, underestimated. A reminder that not every predator has fangs or claws. Sometimes it just takes numbers. The skies of North America are filled with wings, some majestic, some merciless. But among them all, one creature stands above the rest. It's not the fastest, not the smartest, and yet it's feared by every living thing that flies or walks below it. Next, we face the true overlord of the air, the one predator that defines dominance from tundra to tropic. Stay tuned. This is Preda Planet, where survival is science and the sky is never safe. The harpy eagle, the apex of the skies. The harpy eagle doesn't just look powerful, it is power incarnate. With talons longer than a grizzly bear's claws and legs as thick as a man's wrist, this bird rules the tropical forests of Central and South America. And yes, its range stretches far enough into southern North America to earn its crown. Imagine standing under a 20-pound missile of feathers and muscle. The harpy's wingspan reaches 7 feet, but what makes it terrifying isn't the size, it's the precision. It can fly through dense rainforest canopies at full speed without making a sound. Its prey list reads like a jungle obituary. Monkeys, sloths, opossums, even small deer. It doesn't need to chase. It swoops, grabs, and disappears, carrying a struggling victim that can weigh half its own body mass. Villagers who've seen one in the wild call it a ghost, a guardian spirit, sometimes an omen. Hunters whisper that when the forest suddenly goes silent, it's not the wind, it's the harpy. The eyes are forward-facing like a human's, granting true binocular depth perception, the perfect trait for threading through trees at 50 miles per hour. Its curved beak can snap through bone. Its grip strength exceeds 500 pounds per square inch. That's enough to crush the skull of a primate. Scientists studying the species in Panama call it gravity-made flesh. When one lands on a branch, everything else freezes. Even the wind seems to pause out of respect. But what truly sets the harpy apart is intelligence. It hunts with tactics, not instinct. It chooses its perch carefully, times its ambush by the rhythm of the forest, and never wastes energy on uncertain kills. A researcher once described being watched by one for almost 10 minutes. The eagle tracking every motion of his pen through binocular vision before silently gliding away. No sound, no warning, just the unshakable knowledge that he'd been measured by something that understood him. That's the essence of a true apex predator. Not cruelty, not chaos, just complete, effortless control. Predators like the harpy are reminders of balance. Proof that nature's design is not random, it's strategic. Every species below it adapts in response to its power. Even the forest itself evolves around its presence. Yet despite all its dominance, even the harpy eagle is vulnerable to the one predator that conquers every ecosystem. Deforestation, illegal poaching, and trophy collections have reduced their numbers dramatically. In parts of Mexico and Panama, entire populations vanished before most people ever saw one alive. Today, fewer than 20,000 remain across the continent. We build cities where nests once stood. We string power lines across migration routes, and we call it progress. But progress for one species often means extinction for another. Still, in remote valleys of Belize and the Yucatan, they endure. Proof that perfection can survive chaos. And maybe that's why we're so obsessed with predators. They mirror our ambition. They remind us of what we lose when we forget respect. When you look up and see a silhouette cutting across the sky, remember, it's not flying for beauty. It's flying because survival demands it. Predators are not villains. They are teachers. The falcon teaches speed. The owl teaches patience. The eagle teaches presence. Even the bee, chaos in miniature, teaches consequence. They show us what mastery looks like in pure form. No greed, no waste, no hesitation. Just purpose. And maybe that's why people fear them. Not because they kill, but because they don't doubt themselves. If humans carried even half that focus, imagine what we could build, fix, or protect. And here's the truth. In the animal world, awareness keeps you alive. In our world, it keeps you ahead. That's where SmartCredit comes in. Your credit profile is your financial ecosystem. The predators out there aren't eagles, they're hidden debts, missed payments, and identity threats. SmartCredit gives you the radar to spot them before they strike. You'll see every score, every account, every potential danger in one clean dashboard. Click the SmartCredit link below and join thousands who use data like a hawk uses its eyes, with clarity, precision, and control. Protect what you've earned, build what you deserve, because survival isn't just for the wild. So now you've seen the top 10, from the ruthless seagull to the mountain kings and the ghosts of the canopy. 10 species that define dominance above the clouds. And if you've made it this far, you're part of the tribe, the people who look deeper, who respect the hunt, who know nature doesn't forgive ignorance. This is just the beginning of Preda Planet's North American season. The land predators, the deep sea hunters, the frost-bound killers of the Arctic, they're all coming next. Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and keep watching. Because in this world, information is armor, and curiosity is evolution. From the deserts of Nevada to the glaciers of Alaska, this is Preda Planet, and the sky will never look the same again.